Hey guys, are you including checking for new genealogy records that have been released as part of your genealogy research plan? If not, you could be missing your ancestors. Hey, I'm Lisa Listen with Are You My Cousin, where I strive to take the overwhelm out of your genealogy research. Now, before we get talking about those new genealogy records that are coming online, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button down in the right-hand corner so that you don't miss any of the new videos that I post here to the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel. Okay, guys, let's talk new records. Now, each of the four big genealogy websites that we think about have a section on their websites where they document the new records that they put out periodically. Now, that's Ancestry.com, Find My Past, My Heritage, Family Search. They are all actively digitizing records and pursuing new records and getting them digitized and getting them out there in their databases for us, the researchers, to take advantage of. Now, but sometimes I think we forget to go back and check what's new or perhaps what has been updated in those databases. And so I'm going to walk you through each of the big four, as I like to call them, and show you where to find the new records that they have put on, that they have digitized. So we will be going through that. Now, each of the links that I mention here in the video, you will find in the description below. So be sure, and when the video is done, go and check out those links, and they will take you to those new record sections on each of the main genealogy websites. Okay, guys, let's hop over to the first one, and let's see where we can find those new records at Ancestry.com. Welcome everyone over to my desktop. We are going to be looking at where to find those new genealogy records that the four big databases put out, so that you can be sure that you are checking back periodically at those new records that might be out that could be beneficial to your research. So the first site we'll check is Family Search over at familysearch.org. And again, I'll have all of the links to this in the show note or in the description below the video. Family Search announces their new collections updates in their what they call their newsroom. And you can see here, for instance, that they have a listing that they put out this week. It's the new historical records, and they're obviously free, which makes them very nice to use, for the week of April 6, 2020. And just the short little blurb tells us they have over 13 million New York land records, U.S. obituaries, the AMA physician records. It's an interesting collection. If we click through, what we find, obviously, is that these are international. We'll get the whole little blurb up at the top that tells us the types of records and the locations. These are both the U.S. as well as international records. And this is where I start. I just start and kind of peek at that to see what has been released, what might pertain to my research. One of the things I notice down here is that there are some North Carolina records that have been updated or added, and I would probably go and pursue those. I would drop down to the big table. Let's see what we can find from a North Carolina standpoint. And what it tells me down here is that the Center for Health Statistics, the vital records, have been, they've added their indexed records to an existing collection. So it looks like this has been updated a bit. So that would be something, because I research so much in North Carolina, that I would absolutely add to my to-do list to check out further. All right, so let's leave Family Search and let's head over to Ancestry, because Ancestry does keep a running list of their updated and new databases. And this is something I really do enjoy looking at. As you can see, they'll have on the left, it'll tell you what's been updated. So a lot of these have just been updated, but it will also tell you about the new databases that are out there. So here we have a new database for the New York Episcopal Diocese. We have some updated South Carolina death records. That would be an interesting one for me to check as a Southern researcher. Again, and we have some new probate records out of South Carolina. You'll also notice over here would be the date. So you can very quickly know that if you're checking once a month, you could go back and go, yep, I've checked all of March, I'm good to go. And then you can check all of April's new updates or new databases, and you're good to go. So it's a great way to quickly see what's there. If you are doing international research, or I should say just not US-based research, click that little arrow and you can pick what country that and their divisions that you could pursue to see what new records might be out. So if you're Canadian or you have Canadian ancestors that you are researching, you simply click Canada to see what's new. And it looks like not much on this particular go round. The other thing that might be helpful for you to look at would be the coming soon record, which is over here to the right. Now, I like to look at this just so I kind of know what's coming up. So if I know that something is coming and maybe I know that I've exhausted the church records for my ancestors that are currently available to me, I see that they're going to be adding more in the fall of 2020. So I would just make a note on my calendar so I could check back to see when those are added so that I don't waste my time looking for records that maybe haven't been digitized yet. I know that they're coming, so I can put that on my calendar for my research and move on to something that I can actually take care of currently. So that is how I like to handle that. Next, over at Find My Past, every Friday they do put out a new post about what their latest releases are. It's called What's New. So it's actually part of the Find My Past blog, and it's under the category of What's New. And I love this, guys. It shows up in my inbox, as well as I can check it on the website to see what are the new records that have come out. So you can simply click through to, and they will have a blog post about what has been released. And as you can see, in April, they did a huge release with English and Welsh electoral registers. So that's a big deal if you are researching ancestors in those areas. They've also done some newspaper updates and releases as well. So check these periodically and make sure you're staying up to date with the latest records that you can research. And then lastly, we'll hop over to the MyHeritage blog, which is where they will announce their new records. Typically, it seems when I went through this, I'm seeing that about once a month maybe, but this is the latest one that they did. They released a large number, as you can see, 850 million records back in February, right around the time of Roots Tech. Large collection. And part of that collection is actually US-based city directories. So a good place to look. They will have that blog post, and then they will have them listed out here with links to those collections for you to look at. These are, of course, international records as well, and it looks like they've done a really good have a wide cross section. They have the U.S. city directories. They have historical patents, which is an international set. There's Canadian newspapers, so they have a large. They've done quite a bit with what they've put out. So U.S. and world records too. So there you have it, guys. That's how you can find very quickly what the new records are being released from the larger databases. And again, it's important to check periodically. And just an easy tip: mark your calendar, maybe the first of the month or the last day of the month, where you will just take 5 minutes, click through and check each site to see who has what's been new, what's added, and you can then make note of any databases that you want to then pursue. So enjoy, guys, and I hope you found this helpful. Now that you know where to check for the new records that come out periodically, then I want you to add that onto your calendar or add it into your genealogy research plan so that you can periodically go back and check those records for something new. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. But before you go and before you start exploring those new genealogy records, I would love it if you could hit that share button below and share this video with others so that they might be able to find some of those new records and start to make a little bit of headway on their own genealogy research. Have a great day, guys. Bye.